Hello friends! If you've ever fallen asleep over your textbooks, mumbling something like, "Why do I need all this?" then you've come to the right place. Today we will talk about how to make learning easier, more interesting, and more effective. I have been through fire, water, and exams, and now I am ready to share with you the life hacks that I use myself and that really work. Studying can be quite a challenge, especially when each new topic seems like an insurmountable mountain. But there's no need to panic. Instead of suffering and cursing textbooks, let's see how we can turn learning into an engaging and even interesting process. Plus, I will share a few funny stories from my educational journey. It will be fun. When I first saw the list of topics for exam preparation, I was almost taken aback. Seriously. It was like an endless scroll of knowledge that I had to master in just a few days. But I quickly realized that if you try to eat an elephant whole, you might just choke. Break tasks into parts. Large volumes of information will stop being intimidating if you start studying them little by little. For example, if you have 10 topics to prepare for, divide them over 10 days. It's like a marathon. The main thing is not speed but regularity. Every day, take small steps and suddenly a huge mountain of material will become just a hill that you can easily overcome. But what about those moments when concentration simply fades away? Let's move on to the next life hack that will help you focus. Oh, how many times I tried to study for hours on end, but by the end of the day my brain just turned to mush. This is before I discovered the Pomodoro technique. It sounds like the name of an Italian sauce, but it is actually a really cool time management technique. The essence is simple. We work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. You won't believe how much this boosts productivity. During those 25 minutes, you work with maximum focus, knowing that a break is coming soon. It's like a marathon but over short distances. And believe me, in the end, you'll run much further. What if we just tried to rush without stopping? Now that you know how to manage your time effectively, let's talk about how to better absorb information. Visualization. This is what will help you make learning visual and understandable. When I was studying physics, sometimes it felt like those formulas were written in Martian. But as soon as I drew a diagram or a chart, everything fell into place. Visualization is simply magic. Try turning boring paragraphs of text into mind maps or graphics. You will be surprised at how much easier it becomes to remember complex concepts. If they are in front of you in the form of clear pictures, well, maybe just a little less superheroes and explosions, although it depends on the subject. But of course, no life hacks will work without the right balance between work and rest. So let's move on to the importance of breaks. When I first realized that breaks are not the enemies of productivity, but rather its best friends, my learning reached a new level. I used to think that one should study and study again, but the truth is that our brain simply cannot effectively absorb information without rest. After 45 to 50 minutes of intense work, take a break. Not everything is lost. I will not just lie on the couch, but will engage in active rest. Take a walk, do some exercises, have a cup of tea. By the way, during a tea break, you can quickly recap what you just learned. This way, you can both relax and reinforce the material. And now, when you know how important it is to rest, let's talk about how to better remember information so that it stays with you for a long time. Repetition is not just a method of cramming. This is a way to accelerate knowledge in your mind for many years. When I was studying, I often overestimated my abilities. I thought that if I read the text once, I could relax. But in reality, it was not the case. The best way to remember is to actively use the information. Create flashcards with questions. Retell the material to yourself or to friends. The method of spaced repetition. When you return to the material after certain intervals of time, it simply works wonders. For example, you learn today, review tomorrow, then again in a week, and so on. It's like training for the brain. The more often you repeat, the better the result. But what do you do if you don't always have the opportunity to study with someone? This is where the method of explaining to others comes into play. When I was in university, my friends and I had a tradition. Before exams, we would gather and explain complex topics to each other. And you know what I realized? Nothing helps understand the material better than trying to explain it to someone else. The Feynman method states that if you can explain something in simple terms, it means you truly understand it. Imagine that you are explaining a topic to a 5-year-old child or to a friend who knows nothing about it. The simpler and clearer you present the essence, the better you will understand the material yourself. Now that you know how to explain complex topics, it's important to think about where you will do this. Let's move on to creating the perfect learning environment. Have you often tried to study in a room where children are playing, the television is on, or it smells like lunch? Personally, I have. The result is predictable. Studying is ineffective, and concentration is zero. Therefore, it is important to create a comfortable workspace. Remove all distractions. Let your workspace be bright, clean, and comfortable. Set up a good chair, organize proper lighting, and remove all unnecessary items from the desk. Now that your workspace is ready, let's talk about how technology can become your best assistant in learning. We live in an age of technology, and it would be foolish not to use it for studying. In my time, there weren't all these cool apps for memorization and planning. But now you have everything you need. Applications like Anki for creating flashcards, Trello for task planning, or Quizlet for texts can significantly ease the learning process. Download them and start using them. They are not just toys, they are powerful tools that will help you remember and organize material. And most importantly, always carry it with you. You can learn anywhere and at any time. However, of course, no app can replace proper nutrition and taking care of your health, which will be discussed next. I once thought that chocolate bars and energy drinks were a student's best friends, but the truth is that proper nutrition is significantly more important. Your brain consumes a lot of energy and needs nutrients to function properly. Try to eat a balanced diet with more fruits, vegetables, and proteins. Don't forget about water. Dehydration leads to decreased concentration. And of course, do not overindulge in coffee and sweets. They may provide a temporary boost, but afterwards you will feel even more tired. And finally, let's discuss the last but very important aspect: how to find your ideal learning rhythm and not get off track. You may have noticed that there are certain hours when you are most productive. For some, it's the morning, while for others, it's the evening. Don't try to study at a time that is inconvenient for you. Find your rhythm and try to stick to it. For example, if you are a night owl, don't torture yourself with early wake-ups for studying. Study in the evening when your brain is at its peak activity. This can significantly increase your efficiency and reduce the time needed to complete tasks. Friends, learning is not just an obligation, but a true art. If approached correctly, studying can turn into an exciting and even enjoyable process. We have discussed a total of 10 life hacks that will help you become true masters in acquiring knowledge. Try at least a few of them, and you will see how your attitude towards studying changes. Share your results in the comments, and if you have cool life hacks, write them down. It will be interesting to discuss. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and remember, the easier it is to learn, the easier life becomes. Good luck to everyone and see you next time. Bye everyone.